It's Murray from MBM. Today we're going to talk about practice. Horrible word. This is the first in a three-part series on practice techniques and tips. I'm going to talk specifically to the beginner today. The beginner, the first time you practice. Why do we do it? How do we do it? How do we improve it? Most parents, and probably the most commonly asked question that I get is, how do I get my child to practice? I keep telling them they've got to and it goes wrong. Well, let's look at it and let's make sure we can get the most out of it. There are two things I really hate in beginner music. One is the word practice. So in my studio, I get rid of it. The second is the practice diary. The practice diary is just a load of garbage in my book. Why? Let's explain. Most kids come home and they're told, you must practice 15 minutes a day. They're not told how to practice. They're not told what to practice. And the diary comes back in next week signed by mum, dad or the dog who have no idea. Out of that 15 minutes, 10 minutes is usually spent setting the instrument up, oiling the valves, which is another pet hate of mine because it shows a lack of preparation. And then for 5 minutes they've coughed and blurted their way through a piece of music, a book or whatever, without any idea. They've got no benefit. So why do we practice? Why do we say 15 minutes a day, half an hour a day, whatever? Our practices need to change as we grow as a musician. It's not hard and fast. Our needs change, our requirements change. So for us, as a beginner, the first thing is repetition. Repetition builds up the muscle memory of the lip, helps build the embouchure, helps build the coordination. That's part one. But part two, it's about routine. So 15 minutes is a very arbitrary number. You might do 10. But if you do a focused 10, that's better than Smidge down the road who does 15 minutes of coughing and blurting. You might do an hour. You might have an hour tonight and nothing tomorrow. That's not the best. The best is a little bit each day because we build up that repetition. Just like exercising, like riding a bike, you get on it, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So the first thing in our routine, I actually take the word practice out and I start with the word perform. And this is where mum and dad, you get unfortunately involved. Get them to perform. Performing is a different thing. How do we perform? The first thing we do is prepare. So I recommend brass players, and I'm not a big fan of buzzing, but it has its uses early on. Just use the mouthpiece, just buzz for a minute. Ask them to play sirens. Because that's helping them change the tension, helping them push, helping them work. It's terrific. Then get them to run through the piece they're going to perform for you. And it might sound terrible. Whatever. Then they perform. And this is your important role. You've got to stop what you're doing and be the audience. Now, so they come out and it sounds terrible. Whatever. You don't be critical. And say, great, what was it? Okay, oh, Mary had a little lamb. Fantastic. Now, I want to hear that again tomorrow, but I want to hear it better. You're giving them encouragement to go away and improve and to work on it. If you can recognise it, fantastic. With my students, right at the end of each session, the last session, I say, you pick the piece and I'll guess which one it is. And they go through the book and they pick a piece, and sometimes it's terrible, sometimes it's great, and you can go, oh, that's wonderful, excellent, great. Or that's the point at which we start the following week. And they go, well, yeah, look, they've just played it and it's gone. And you go, well, I'm not quite sure. Come back to me, have a practice, go away and come back and perform it again. And the more they perform it, the better it is. Likewise, with beginners, don't let them get stuck. I've played hot cross buns because I love playing hot cross buns. Why? Because I can play it. There's a whole world out there beyond hot cross buns. get them to play something else. And you can request. You're an audience. If you went to a live gig, you would do it. You would request a song and they might be able to do it. But you might go, well, let's have a look at this one. Be an active part of their rehearsal and an active part of their performance, and suddenly you'll find they get going. You're also building the routine of thinking your way through the playing. You're also building the fact that there's a point to practicing. And yet we haven't used that word practicing. We've talked about performing for them. So as a beginner, if you can do that, and even 10 minutes a day of that and one performance, they will get a better result than just signing a practice diary and saying, yeah, I've done 15 minutes, when really they've done about 2. And really it's not focused. They've played their band piece, that's it. They've played the bits they like, that's it. Encourage them. Give them a challenge. Later on, give them a reward. I'm a little bit against that for the simple reason that they're playing music because they want to play music. The desire and the passion is already there. Our job is to not destroy that, but encourage it and build it. So if you're a beginner, perform, prepare, buzz, and get your audience in. Do that thing, and every time you'll be taking yourself a little step forward. Never practice, perform. Catch you next time.